Hey Books, welcome into our Gemini-cancer astrology tarot reading for December 2025. I thank you guys as always for being on this side of the channel, and I do hope this message serves you whenever it's divinely meant to. As I was meditating for this message for my Gemini-cancer energies and placements, keep in mind that this can also be relevant for your 3rd and 4th house placements if you're not born on this cusp, okay? But there's some sort of alliance that you're about to be in or you're already in. Some of y'all, this is about to come in the future. So we're going to be talking a lot about what's up ahead in this message for you, okay? So it might not necessarily play out here in December, but you might be preparing for what's coming in December, okay? There's some sort of alliance that is coming in, and I'm almost hearing ordained, that's ordained to you or is maybe destined for you to be a part of, that is meant to bring in balance, okay? Something's coming in to balance you out, and I almost feel like it's something you are owed or due. I'm getting this feeling of isolation or like a lack of community, a lack of connection. So if you identify as somebody who maybe doesn't have a lot of people in your life or a lot of healthy connections or connections at all, that's about to shift and that's about to change, okay? Maybe it's felt like you haven't been able to relate to many people or connect in a way that you would want to with others. So this could be a community where you can feel deeply, speak deeply, think deeply without judgment. You might be coming into an alliance with other deep thinkers and deep feelers, so you feel at home in the presence of these people or at home in this community or in this alliance. But it almost feels like an alliance with the divine, like they're coming in to assist you with balancing out this lack of community you maybe feel, or really almost sensing like a lack of understanding or a lack of being understood by those around you. Maybe you've outgrown your environment or a community here. You might feel like a big fish in a small pond. And that's about to change. That's about to shift and that's about to change here, okay? So Divine Universe, tell me a little bit more about this shift and change. Yeah, okay, we've got solar flares out. So maybe solar plexus energy is important for all air, water signs. I definitely encourage you guys too, because a lot of this energy is definitely tied to the elements. If you're born on this cusp, check out your other fellow air, water messages, okay? If you don't already, I'm sure a lot of y'all do, but if you don't already, definitely tap into your elemental similarities, or again, get into your natal chart and look at those different aspects and energies through the 24 readings y'all get, okay? Because all the messages can be relevant. We all have 12 houses, right? So it's just important to keep that in mind with these messages. I felt the need to say that, okay? Yeah, debilitated and discomfort. That's what I mean. Something's activating here to get you out of something that's been uncomfortable for a while. Again, big fish, small pond. Not enough swimming room where you are. Okay? Yeah, healing and Mars in motion. Right, something's about to be set in motion for you. Could be gaining motion or traction or movement in something, maybe when it comes to your career. With the midhaven here, the moon and perception. Gemini-cancer energy for December. Thank you. The sun, right. Some of y'all have been maybe waiting on an environment to change when you're the one that's meant to change environments. I'm hearing hard pill to swallow. Yeah, that could be a hard pill to swallow, but the change you're looking for could be you here, Gemini Cancers. With the sun and the moon back to back, that's kind of nice. Again, alliance, alignment. Your spirit and your soul, or your soul being the moon, spirit being the sun, coming into alignment to help set in motion some sort of healing for some sort of discomfort that you've been in, maybe for a long time. In order for you to kind of reach a peak here, or something's reached a peak with the pinnacle, the height, the ceiling, maybe even. Maybe you've reached a ceiling here, Gemini Cancer. And it's time to explore how to break through that ceiling, and or if it needs to just stay put and you need to kind of climb somewhere else or go somewhere else, especially with all these stairs. Maybe it's felt like that, like you keep climbing and climbing and climbing and it feels like there's no end, there's no peak to the energy or to whatever it is that you're pursuing. But yeah, I think it's your perception of where that energy is coming from, or what has to shift that might be changing. So it could be more or less you, as opposed to trying to create change in a particular environment. That Mars energy can be very warlike, can speak to that kind of combative force of nature. Instead of trying to force something, maybe the healing lies in surrender. Yeah, it's like you've been trying to activate maybe the people around you, or activate a community, or be active in a community, and something's just not gelling, or it's not clicking, or you just, again, don't feel the connection to that space or that environment. Again, rather than waiting on it to shift and change, you might be the one that has to shift and change. Okay. Something could be like a glass ceiling over you, or maybe you've reached the pinnacle or the peak of healing that you were called to do in this particular environment, and so now it's time to move into a new one. Tell me what's activating here. Seven of Swords. Okay, let me shuffle. Okay, what's activating with solar flares? Okay, Nine of Wands, you're healing. Chiron. Okay, and clarify the discomfort, the Four of Wands. Right. The pond that you're in, the agreements, the contracts, the connections, the home space, the community. You maybe have outgrown. Clarify the motion with Mars. Thank you. I can't make it up. You've outgrown it. The star. It's almost like you're the only shining star in the area, and there's a desire or a yearning to be with other stars, as opposed to waiting for stars to happen or burst or be manifested or kind of come into fruition. It's like you just need to step into environments and spaces where there are other star energies, which for me speaks to that connection to source and spirit. People who have that otherworldliness about them, people who feel that same vibration that you feel, that same connection that you feel. Something about your star power could be activated right now here, Gemini Cancer. You might be solidifying yourself as like, I just heard a heavy hitter, or someone who has a lot of star power in whatever you do, maybe for work, or a key player. Okay. Heal with the Queen of Swords and Chiron. Okay. we'll get to that. Tell me about the Pentacle. What's this midhaven energy? Ooh, the Four of Swords. Yeah. There's a strong part of you that knows you haven't peaked yet. That there's still more to your journey, more to your evolution. Like, you might not even be scratching the surface at this point, Gemini Cancer. And so it's figuring out how to facilitate that growth and that movement, that motion. Okay, what's the perception? The Hierophant. Yeah. The perception you might have is that you have to stay committed to where you are. So a lot of commitment rolling through the air, water energies. Five of Swords, right. That could be the misconception. It's almost like you're outgrowing your hometown, you know? It's not that you don't love your hometown. It's just your heart or your life is moving you to experience something broader, bigger, or different. I'm hearing betrayal. That could feel like betrayal to you, or it could feel like betrayal to people around you, or you don't want to betray or feel like you're betraying this community or where you come from, but it's like you deserve to see your visions unfold. You deserve to pursue that vision too. And maybe wherever you are just isn't the space or the place that's going to provide that. Clarify the Sun. Eight of Cups. Yeah. Maybe this is bringing up a little bit of an abandonment energy. It's like, yeah, your hometown makes you who you are, or, you know, everything you've gone through and everybody you've connected with up until this point have had some sort of influence on you. You wouldn't be who you are without it, but that doesn't mean that you stay committed to that small pond when you know you're a big fish. And if the people really love you and they really genuinely care for you, they would want you to be the big fish with the other big fishes. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't want you to suffocate in that pond. Be like, it's time for you to get to that lake. It's time for you to get to that ocean. And that could be hard. I totally understand. Yeah, I feel like you might be healing from worrying about what other people think and the perceptions of other people. What are other people going to say? Okay. Clarify, activate with the Nine of Wands. Thank you. Yeah, I can't make it up. What are people going to say? Five of Cups, Page of Swords. Not wanting to be gossiped about or looked at in a certain way. That's, again, the Hierophant. There's a certain image, perception that has to be upheld. Okay. Okay. I understand. Clarify. Can I get one here for the Nine of Wands and solar flares? Thank you. Temperance in reverse. Okay. The Magician at the bottom. Yeah. It's almost like at what cost, though, you know, Gemini Cancer? You're being activated to not create from a wounded space. Again, that could be very important for all air, water energies right now. Whatever the wound is, whatever is being called up to heal is so that you don't create from that space. So you can address it, you can face it, and not have the repetition of it in your reality. Magician energy. Almost like a clean slate. Six of Wands. Yeah, I almost think you might be tempted to stay in something or keep small for the sake of your ego or the sake of other people's ego. And that could be where this kind of discomfort is coming from. You trying to fit into the status quo of the perception that people maybe have of you, when there's a large maybe part of your soul that wants to grow beyond that, or step outside of the box in some sort of way, or do something different. It's especially with the Star card, right? You see that in a lot of artistic culture, where artists are known for one thing, or they get really big, or they blow up off of one medium of art, but then there's like other parts of them that are wanting to be expressed. But it's like, how do I get taken seriously when everybody only knows me for this one thing? It's like, how do I get them to know me also for the other? Yeah, I get this. It's almost like you don't want to be boxed in anymore, or you feel boxed in. And sometimes that can lead to rebellion, right? And I almost feel like that's not really your style, for whoever this is going to resonate for. It's not really your style to be a rebel in that way, to like blow up your whole life. So then, okay, boom, I'm forced to then just start the new thing I want to do. But I feel like you're going to find a way here, Gemini, Cancer, sooner, or things might start piecing itself together for you to be able to see how you can transition into whatever this big pond or larger lake or ocean is for you. Okay. Clarify Mars in motion with the star. Yeah, Page of Swords. What will everybody say if I try to do something different or out of the norm? Clarify the healing with the Queen of Swords. Exactly, the Ten of Cups. So there's a part of you that might be still trying to people please here, Gemini, Cancer, that you want to be aware of. You are not here to make other people happy. Okay? You are here to fulfill your sense of happiness, your joy, your pleasure. And those that are truly for you will have pleasure from you being in that happiness. So if it makes you happy, then it makes me happy, because I'm happy that you're happy. Not do this so that I'm happy, even if it makes you unhappy. It's making me happy, and that's what's important. It's like, no. There could be a little bit of conditioning that you're working against there with that. Feeling like you're in servitude to people, places, things that, again, I keep hearing helped you along the way, sure. But you don't owe them your peace of mind. You shouldn't have to play small to keep people comfortable with you. If there's a part of your soul, clearly your soul and your spirit are showing up here, that are trying to tell you you're larger, you're bigger, it's, grander than that. Or it's time to do something different. It's time to step bigger or in a new direction. That call is not going to go away. No matter how many times you ignore it, no matter how small you try to keep yourself, that call is not going to go away if it's truly meant for you, or if it's coming from a very pure space in you. It's only going to get louder. So again, Four of Swords, Pentacle, for your peace of mind, you have to take something to the full extent. Yeah, it's kind of like, aren't you happy? Don't you have enough? Isn't this enough? Isn't this enough? Again, somebody might be trying to get you to settle for something. Why do you need to go for this? And why don't you need to have that? It's like, because it's a desire. It's there. And you deserve to explore that. So be mindful of what's controlling you, controlling your actions, controlling your thoughts. Okay, Gemini, Cancer? Yeah, Nine of Cups in reverse, exactly. You would be missing out or not following your own wish fulfillment for the comfort of others. You would then be stuck with the what ifs. It's almost like you might have people around you, or might feel like you have to sacrifice something. Again, that self-sacrifice is another theme here for that air, water energies. Okay. You might feel like you have to sacrifice your happiness for the happiness of others, but that only does a disservice to you, because those that are really for you are going to be happy when you're happy. So it really wouldn't do anybody good for you to be unhappy And maybe that just feels a little selfish, and I understand that. A little too self-focused and too self-centered. Maybe vanity has been a big thing that's been a struggle or a battle. Not wanting to take anything for granted, not wanting to get too high on your own supply, or, you know, there's this sense of like humbleness I'm feeling that you were maybe taught, or that, you know, you've been conditioned to believe is the way to go. But maybe that's what's shifting a little bit too, that definition of humble. Humble doesn't mean unhappy. Humble means I'm still tethered and grounded, but that doesn't stop me from pursuing my ambitions. That doesn't stop me from believing in myself. Yeah, it's almost like there's this weird mix or warped energy between humble and like self-deprecation, or almost like, oh, well, you know, that's not for me. Like, that's the way to be humble. And it's like, no. You can be humble, but still have a lot of confidence in yourself and still believe in yourself. Okay. Yeah, the hangman. It's like somebody has to relook at the Hierophant status, or that Hierophant energy. Hierophant being the teacher. You know, sometimes the teacher has to be the student. And maybe you've been the teacher, you've been the big fish, you've been the one that had the guidance, that had the leadership, that had the know-how, that, you know, had all these things. And now it's time for you to get into a larger body of water, for you to learn something. Maybe that's really what all of this is, Gemini-Cancer. You need to be in an environment where you're not the smartest in the room. You need to be in an environment, or it could be the alliance that's about to happen, or the balance that might be coming in, an environment where you get to actually learn from others, or be put in situations and scenarios that teach you something about yourself, about the world, about others. It's time for the teacher to be the student. Okay, period. What's the 8 of Cups and the Sun and the Moon? I can't make it up. It's time for the teacher to be the student. Yeah, be in that Page of Cups energy. Open-hearted to what's to come. Open-hearted to learn and connect. Open-hearted to the unknown with the Moon here. Open-hearted to the unfamiliar. I think that's what this is. I'm hearing that don't go chasing waterfalls, TLC, waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. And that's what I mean. It's like you might be getting that call to chase the waterfall. But it doesn't mean that you don't appreciate the lakes and the rivers that you're used to, right? But if you're too big for those lakes and rivers, and not, again, maybe that's what it is. Oh, you think you're too big for us. Oh, you think you're better than us. And it's like, no, not at all. But there is this desire to expand. And if the environment you're in doesn't allow for that expansion, then you owe it to yourself to get in an environment that does. It's not personal. Yeah. Maybe that's what that 10 of Cups. Family could be taking you wanting to go somewhere else, or do something different, or separate yourself, or expand out in another direction, maybe a little personally. But you got to do what's right for you, Gemini-Cancer, regardless of how other people feel for it or feel about it, because you alone are living your life. No one else is living it with you. Everybody's in their own world. So you got a service and a duty to your world. Okay, and guess what? 9 times out of 10, maybe even 8 times out of 10, it'll make sense to them eventually. They'll get it. Right? Like, they'll get it. You had to do what was best for you, even if that went against what what your family taught you or what they instilled in you, whatever. You have to follow your path. You have to follow your higher calling. Okay. So what does this following the higher calling look like? What is this alliance bringing in? This balance. This new larger lake and pond. I can't make it up. Community. I can't make it up. You deserve to be in a community of people who support you and commune. That's the same thing, back to back. Okay, I can't make it up. Higher consciousness with detachment, right. You got to detach from the rivers and the lakes that you're used to because you're used to them. Especially with that Gemini energy. Constant need for new information, for learning, experiences, knowledge with the Hierophant. How are you to know if you don't go out and learn? It's almost like you know all there is to know. Everything that's available to you in this current environment or wherever you're at is giving you all that it has. Now it's time for you to go expand that knowledge. Yeah, just like moving from high school to college. High school gave you the best foundation it could. Now it's time to go to college and really explore all the other things and learn new things. It's like expansion on the knowledge is important, but it seems like this knowledge has to come through experience that you won't get where you are. Okay? Yeah, it's to follow your dreams, babe. It's to follow your dreams. Yeah. You dream of that waterfall. You dream of that waterfall. And now it's time to go chase it. And that might require detachment, and that detachment might be uncomfortable, but it will never be as painful as staying small, as acting as if you're not in that higher consciousness, or maintaining that low profile, or keeping within the box. That's going to be more painful than the detachment from the box or the family or the community. Okay, so you got to kind of look at it. Maybe that's the perspective shift that's happening. Yeah. Got the beloved. Sorry, that fell on the floor. Tell me, what do y'all say, beloved or beloved? I've always said beloved. Enchantment. Yeah. It's enchanting you. That waterfall is enchanting you. And yeah, there might be a lot of unknowns, but for that to even fall under the sun, 8 of Cups with the moon, you gotta follow the moon. Like, you'll have guidance regardless. You're only gonna head towards somewhere where it is positive for you. Yeah, it's like, it's time for you to shine bright in something here, Gemini, Cancer, and you need the right environment and the right community to do that. And again, that's no knock and no shade to the 10 of Cups you might be a part of, but when you do that detachment work, it leaves room for those who might be holding on to you to heal too, if they choose it. But they're not going to heal and they're not going to shift if you're going to stay small or kind of stay in their grasp to make them happy. You're going to kick yourself. You're going to kick yourself for it. So it's almost like it's time for you to do what you want to do and not what others expect you to do or want you to do. What do you want? Because again, they're not living your life. Yeah, strength, mother word. This could be a mother figure that kind of wants to hold on to you. Completion, inner peace, exactly. Like I said, something's completed. Whatever you needed to learn or to heal in this particular dynamic, you've done it. Now it's time to go on to different pastures. Different environments, a different world. But you have to take the action to detach. And maybe I'm saying all this and you're like, yeah, I know, I'm very aware, but I don't know how that's going to happen. Maybe that's what's going to start unfolding here for you. Okay. Yeah, protection. Whatever will unfold, it's going to be in a way where you are, again, guarded and protected. You'll be safe. It's like you're looking for safety. Maybe that's it. The comfort zone of the Ten of Cups, of the family or the box or the familiarity in the community, protected you at one point or felt like protection at one point. But it's almost like you don't really need that protection anymore, or it's not protection anymore. It's starting to debilitate you. Now it's starting to smother. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Clarify enchantment. Destiny. What's enchanting you is your destiny. What's calling you is your destiny. That waterfall is your destiny. Which means the divine has every intention on getting you there safely and protected. It's your joy, and it's not only just your joy, it's your blessing as well. Okay. And like I said, the people around you might not understand it. They might think you should just be happy with where you are. Why can't you just stay here? Why do you need more? Or why are we not enough? And da-da-da-da. Like, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with this, I feel like, this call, this dream you have. And you have to believe that you're protected in pursuing that dream. So maybe that's another thing. Maybe you're dealing with the fears of others. The people in this Ten of Cups or this community or this Queen of Swords might not be as brave as you are, might not be as confident or secure as you are. So, of course, you stepping out into a bigger lake or a larger ocean is like, oh my gosh, that's so scary. So be mindful that you're not absorbing the fears being projected onto you by people who are not walking your path. If you feel confident and you know you're safe, you know that you're protected, like you have that sense of security within yourself, it's there for a reason. And if it's not there in other people, that's also for a reason. But you can't let the feelings and the fears of others dictate how you move. Even when they love you to death, even if it's coming from a pure place, you gotta do you. Okay, my loves? I'm going to leave it there. I really do hope that this helps you or gave you some sort of clarity and confirmation that you may be needed throughout the month of December and beyond it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as always, and I'll see you in our next one. Namaste.